Hey everybody! If you are looking for tips on how to start a new creative project or finish a new creative project, you are in the right place. For whatever reason, the live video didn't save, but I am going to record it now, so no worries. Also, if you have any questions or anything about a project that you're working on or anything, just message me. And I'd love to chat with you. So we're gonna just start off with 4 principles that will help you in starting a new project or finishing one. Number 1 is observing without judgment what has kept you from starting. Now, we have both conscious and unconscious thoughts and actions that keep us from this project. Our conscious ones are our conscious thoughts or actions are ones that we're aware of, right? Things that we know, like, oh my goodness, I haven't started this project because I haven't had any time. Okay, that's a conscious thought, that has kept us from a project. So, for example, if you're writing a book, maybe you don't feel like you have enough time. Now, unconscious thought might be, I'm exhausted because I've said yes to a lot of things that I don't want to do, and I hardly say yes to the things that I truly do want to do. And to become more aware of some of these unconscious thoughts and actions that keep us from creating, I recommend the following exercise. Create space to actively engage your thoughts. What do I mean by creating space? Taking time apart from the daily distractions, focusing on one thing and setting time to do it. And actively engage, when we're creating space to actively engage these thoughts and actions that keep us from this creative project, it means to pay attention to the thoughts and actions that come up naturally. Oftentimes we ignore these thoughts and think they're not affecting us. I believe that the thoughts that go unchecked are the beliefs that we internalize the most. So just being aware, creating awareness in our day where we're setting aside time to really think about, okay, why am I not doing this project that I have really been wanting to do? And thinking through the day, like, okay, this is when I was thinking about doing it, and this action, I decided to do this instead of doing my project. That's an example of just observing why we may not be doing our project. Now, for some, creating space may be more difficult. Slowing down to process these thoughts and actions due to our busyness. For others, coming face to face with your thoughts and actions might be more of a challenge. That's why it's important to do this exercise without judgment. I believe the number 1 killer of creativity is criticism. We beat ourselves up for what we are doing and also what we are not doing. So how does this exercise actually look fleshed out? Journaling, telling a friend, drawing, however you choose to express these thoughts and actions, make sure it is reflective of what is currently happening. Our thoughts and actions that show why you aren't starting or finishing the project right now. So I'm not talking about, okay, I remember I was planning on doing this project 3 weeks ago because of XYZ. Now that might have changed for you. So consider as of today why you may not have started or finished this project. Be honest with how you're feeling about those thoughts and actions. Maybe you're frustrated. You keep telling yourself you've started, and you see every time you've had an opportunity to sit down and work on this creative project, you choose to turn on the TV instead. Now, it could be easy to just be like, how could I do that? I'm so stupid for doing that and thinking that. But instead of having a judgmental approach, just being like, okay, I can see that instead of working on this creative project at this time, I decided to watch TV. And here are some questions to consider when you're in this space that you've created. What does this creative project really mean to me? Where did the passion for this creativity start? What or who inspires me to pursue this creative project for myself? What has gotten in the way of starting or finishing this project? If I knew I couldn't fail, what would be the first step in starting or finishing this project? So that's the first thing, where we are observing without judgment what has kept us from starting or finishing this project. Now, number 2 is discovering what deep down you truly want. First, you will see how things currently are after your observations. Then you can think about how you truly want things to be. Give yourself permission to dream whatever without reservations. Oftentimes our minds try to protect us by putting limits on things, but sometimes it can keep us from the things that we really truly desire. Think back to when you were a kid. What did you love? Sometimes it stays the same, sometimes it changes. But sometimes going back to that time of like when we had the freedom to create, we just were right there in the present moment and decided, okay, I want to do this. And it could be reflective of some of our deepest desires. Sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. Either way, totally fine. So in order to discover deep down what you truly want, I have another exercise for us. Ask yourself a bunch of whys. I'll give you an example. I want to be a photographer. Why? To capture people's stories. Why? Being invited into the most intimate seasons of people's lives makes me feel warm and close to others. Why? Photography reminds me that we are really all the same. So when I take pictures of other people at a wedding, funeral, baby shower, I see the deepest longings and longings of desiring to be loved and seen. Why is that important to you? I long to be loved and seen myself. So naturally, I want others to be loved and seen too. So as you can see through that progression, you get deeper and deeper into why you really want to do something. Now, for some, it may not look that way, and it may be from somebody else. Maybe it was somebody else's desire and it wasn't truly our own. Now, it could have over time become our desire too, or maybe it just isn't and it's not a true desire of ours. And so this process of really discovering what you want will weed out things you do want from things that you do not want. And after observing and then discovering what you want, then we'll make it to number 3, which is celebrating your dreams with someone you trust. Acknowledging and sharing your deepest dreams requires vulnerability and courage, which is why it's important that when I mean trust, it's people who will stand by you even though they may not agree with you. People who, if you ask them not to share their opinion, would respect you enough, and they won't if asked. Now, celebrate. Celebrate can be any way that you want to. Have freedom to just be able to enjoy that this is really what I want, and I want to be able to express this anyway. And it's important to incubate your creative project with trustworthy people first, especially if it's in its infancy stages, or should I say more womb stages. Maybe it's a womb, maybe it's just, in the womb. And that's okay because you haven't started yet. But if the idea is there, if the desire is there, it can grow, cultivated in a community of people who love and support you. And if you're looking for a community of artists, I've started a Facebook page. It's a safe space for creatives. And it may be helpful for you if you're looking for people who are doing a similar work to you. And it's a place without judgment where you can share projects that aren't finished, even ideas, where you can have a safe space to be able to do that. The link is in the bio. Reassurance from others breeds confidence, and confidence is a building block for further inspiration. So first we have observing without judgment what has kept you from starting, then discovering deep down what it is that you truly want to do. Next, we have celebrating your dreams with people that you trust. And then it's deciding to take that first or next step or change paths. Now, steps 1 and 2, where you are observing your thoughts and actions and discovering what you really want, help you to really flesh out, more of who you are, the values that you have. You may find yourself going back to these steps over and over again. And that's perfectly natural because we're constantly growing and changing. Take it at your pace and not everyone else's. One thing that can also prevent us from starting or finishing a creative project is trying to force something to happen. Take your time with these steps. Switch them out of order, flip them like you got a deck of cards, any way you want. If it works for you, I totally encourage you to do that. There is no formula for how everything is going to work out. It's really about finding what you love to do and working through what might be keeping you from doing that. I encourage you to take the smallest first step in your creative project. If after doing all of these steps, you realize, wow, this really is in alignment with what I want to do. I really value doing this. I can do this, and you believe that. So take the smallest first step. Set up accountability for it. Maybe it's a Google reminder. Maybe it's telling a friend. You know yourself best, and so I would advise you to do a step where you can have accountability that will fit with what you're needing. Be specific and reasonable with where you currently are at. And if you discover, however, after going through, you're like, this isn't really what I want. I thought it was, but truly it was coming from somebody else's desire. And that's okay. Free yourself from it and go find whatever it is that you truly do want to do. Don't commit to it just because it was a desire for a long time. And give yourself permission to change your mind and keep moving forward. So yeah, those are the 4 things that will help you either start or finish a creative project. And if you have any questions about, if you have a project that you are starting that you want to finish and you would like more support, please message me. I would love that. And please join the free Facebook group community, where you can grow and share some of your creative project that you're thinking about currently working on, all of the above. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.